We are back for another episode of Game Changers. Today's guest is Ryan Smith. He's a former pro rugby player, CEO and co-founder of 360 EEC. Today's episode is talking all about developing yourself. Practice makes permanence. Let's jump into it and find out what does that really mean. Step into the arena of Game Changers. With me, Robin Finley, where every setback is a setup for a comeback. Together, let's explore the strategic plays, teamwork dynamics, and resilience found in sports, applying them to the world of business for transformative conversations and lasting impact. Remember, we never lose. We either win or we learn. Welcome back, Ryan. Today, we're going to talk about developing yourself. What leadership challenges are you working on right now?
Working on lots of challenges right now, Robin. There's a couple things, and this is an introspective kind of conversation. What am I working on? So I'll think about that lane first and foremost. For me, there's two things really. It's how I communicate is the number one thing, and then how I see projects through to the finish is the other thing. So those are two really unique to me things, but they're really relevant, I think, to a business community at large. With the communication piece, there's a lot of instances where as a leader, you think that you've said something. And you think that you've said it in a certain way that everybody's going to get the message. But I've realized really clearly in the last couple of years that the way that I say things doesn't always resonate. So you have to find multiple ways to deliver messages. So you have to work harder at simplifying your message, for one, and then finding the mediums that allow you to communicate effectively with different types of people. People that absorb information before meetings, people that absorb information verbally, that read text better than others. So there's a lot of different techniques that I'm working on right now personally to try and deliver what is a more effective message. And one of my roles in the seat that I'm in today is to be a really clear, concise communicator. And that's something that I don't think I'll ever stop working on, but it's definitely a challenge in front of me for 2024. And then the second thing, this is personal to me, is I'm very good at fire starting, but I haven't always been really strong at putting the fire out or seeing it all the way through to the finish line. So one of the things that I'm working on is that accountability ladder for myself to get a project to a certain point, but then also be there as a support tool and be there as an accountability tool throughout the duration of a project.
I love what you said about communication, especially. I think that's really ties in closely to sport, how you communicate with your athletes when you're coaching them. Like you said, some learn on the chalkboard, some learn by, hands-on, showing them how to do it. And there's always, the video review now is the new thing that I'm trying to pull into my coaching is, I said that to you as a player, but they didn't really hear it or see it the right way. So now you can show them the video and then go back and look at it. I don't think you can use video in work too much that way. They might not be, HR department might not love that, but Anyway, that's a great example. Awesome answers. What are some of the leadership coaching development trends you've seen recently that interest you?
I would say that becoming a vulnerable leader is something that is really important to me. It maybe tends towards the way that I think naturally anyways, but there's certainly a trend today to be more, or to have a stronger EQ, as it were, and to apply those principles to your business life and your personal life and to try and bring all those thoughts together inside of, you don't have to be the toughest person in the room. You don't have to be the strongest leader with all the answers. It's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to be wrong. But at the same time, just have conviction in what you're doing.
I think that's brilliant. It's really good because, some of the old style leaders of the past, they think they had to never show weakness, that type of thing. Not that this is showing weakness, but vulnerability is a great way of explaining it. And I think it's really key in that sort of age demographic of leaders. I think this is a really almost golden era of leadership, I think, where people have the strength to lead, the experience to lead, the knowledge to lead, but they're also willing to be vulnerable. I think that probably is a great feature of working with your company. Where do you see yourself growing in the coming year on your leadership journey?
Well, I'm 6'2" today. Maybe I get to 6'3" tomorrow. No. Where do I see myself growing? I alluded to a couple of things that I'm really working on at the beginning, but really what I want to focus on is those little fundamentals that have got me to where I am today. And what I do really well is create network connections. So I'm leaning hard into that piece and using that as a foundation for all the other elements that I want to continue to grow. For me personally, if I lean into the network connections and I show up on a regular basis, listening to the problems that either our clients or our people or our stakeholders have, then it lays a foundation for us and our business and for me personally. So that's the one thing I'm working on.
Ryan, one of the other times when you and I were just chatting away from the episodes here, we talked about the fact that you have a personal development plan. So we're talking about developing leaders, developing yourself. Tell me, do you mind touching on that a little bit more about some of the things that you do in your plan personally?
Yeah, for sure. We spoke about it briefly, like you said before, inside of the cultural conversation, how we're really diligent about road mapping what is culture. I think that's a really valuable tool for most leaders in general to do it for themselves. Many people that I know that are aspiring leaders haven't yet thought of that, where they think about what is their clear purpose, what is their clear vision as a person, outside of their business that they're currently in today. What is their clear purpose, what is their clear vision, and then what are the strategies and actions that they're going to employ. So I do that on a regular basis annually, and then I update it, and it reflects kind of a 1 year, a 5 year, and a 10 year vision of what I think I could be as a person, as a family man, as a business person, as a member of a sport community. All of those things are intertwined inside of what that roadmap is, but I revisit it all the time, and it's iterative. It's never fixed. It always has updates to it, and if I look back on the very first one that I did in, I think, 2012, when I just started entering or exited professional sport and into business, what it looked like then and what it looks like today is totally different.
I love what you said about the iterations. Yeah, everything is about change. If nothing changes, nothing changes is one of my famous sayings that I didn't come up with, but I like to use it. So yeah, it's good to always be evolving and adapting your plan forward. So thanks again for being here today, Ryan. That wraps up our episode. Tell everybody where they can get a hold of you.
Well, I'm easily found on LinkedIn. That's the best way to get me. My details are also on our company website, which is www.360eec.com. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much for being here again, Ryan.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Yep.
Thank you for joining me, Rob and Finley, on this journey through Game Changers. As the final whistle blows, let's carry the wisdom of sportsmanship, determination, and adaptability into our business endeavors. Stay tuned for more enlightening discussions on the winning strategies that transcend the field and the boardroom.